Well, we're finally back. UFC Fight Night, Walker versus ANKALAEV. I know I haven't made videos in a while. I did say that I was gonna post during Christmas, but I never ended up doing it because I'm lazy. But we're back now. That's all that matters. First fight on the card, Joshua Van versus Felipe Bunes. I think Joshua Van takes this fight pretty easily. First round or second round KO. He's just the better striker and better grappler, and he's for sure gonna be in the top 15 sooner or later. Next fight up the card, Nicholas Mota versus Tom Nolan. This is another very easy one to predict. Tom Nolan is gonna either KO Nicholas Mota in the second round or just win by decision. Nicholas Mota should not be in the UFC. He's not that good. He's super overrated. Next fight of the card, Wilson versus Gene Silva. I am going with the heavy underdog, Gene Silva. I think his power and his grappling will be too much for Wilson, and that's how I think it's gonna go down. He's gonna grapple him, start ground and pounding, eventually TKO him in the third round. Next fight up the card, Farid Basharat versus Taylor Lapilus. Farid Basharat is gonna take apart Taylor Lapilus. Taylor Lapilus has no chance. Basharat's gonna kick him, use the grappling, gonna outbox him. This is gonna be hell for Taylor Lapilus. Farid Basharat will win either by TK or KO in the first, or just win by decision. Next fight up the card, Marcus McGee versus Gaston Bolaños. This is another fight where one fighter is gonna be obviously the winner and he's gonna dominate. McGee is gonna kill Bolaños. Bolaños isn't good. All he has is power, and even then he doesn't really knock people out. McGee will outstrike him, outgrapple him, and just outdo him in general. Decision win, 30-27. Next fight up the card, Matthew Semelsberger versus Preston Parson. This fight is a very 50-50 fight, and it's not because Matthew Semelsberger doesn't win. He should win. It's just he knocks the fuck out of people down, but then they just get back up and knock his ass out. It kind of makes no sense, honestly, but I will be going with him. I'm trusting him basically one more time. I had him in his last fight and he ended up losing still. He was winning that fight though, but I think he does win by decision. I can't see him actually fully knocking somebody out. Next fight up the card, Andre Arlovsky versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Now, if this was prime Arlovsky, I would go with Arlovsky, but I am going with Acosta. Acosta's just younger, has a better chin, has power, and it's just faster. I mean, it's as simple as that. Waldo Acosta Cortez, I think, wins by KO in the first. Now we're off to the main card, Phil Hawes versus Bruno Ferreira. This is another 50-50 fight. I think Phil Hawes beats Bruno Ferreira, but we all know Phil Hawes does not have a chin. He's good as hell, absolutely amazing. It's just Bruno Ferreira has power. He's been the only person I think to knock out Gregory Rodriguez, and to be able to do that, I mean, you gotta be super powerful. But I do think Phil Hawes can beat him by decision. I can't really see a TKO because he outstrikes everybody and ends up losing. But I do think Phil Hawes will be able to get rid of that little skit that he has, I guess, and win a decision, 30-27. Next fight up the card, Ricky Simone versus Mario Batista. Ricky Simone is gonna dominate Mario Batista. Batista stands no chance. Batista, all he has is wrestling, and Ricky Simone is just a straight grappler. With power, he's gonna knock him out either late in the first or early in the second. Mario Batista proved to himself that he's not that good against Damon Blackshear. Damon Blackshear should have won that fight. I had the score 2-1. Ricky Simone will win. Next fight up the card, Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benitez. I think Jim Miller will win this fight. I think the grappling is going to be the biggest difference in this fight. I think he will be able to take Benitez down as much as he wants in the first round. Outstrike him. What I mean by outstrike is, ground and pound. And then in the second, he will find a rear naked choke and choke him out early in the second. And now for the co-main event, Matheus Nicolau versus Manel Kape. This is a close fight, but I am going with Manel Kape. I think his striking is just simply better. I don't know if his grappling is there of Matheus Nicolau, but I don't think they'll grapple. Manel Kape has more power, and he's just way more random, and he has a chin. I do think he will be able to knock out Matheus Nicolau in the third or second round. And now for the main event, Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. Before the illegal knee, in my opinion, Johnny Walker was winning the fight, and I did have Johnny Walker last time, so I'm gonna go with him again. I think he will be able to knock out Ankalaev. I think Ankalaev is really overrated. Everybody thinks he's this guy that can just dominate everybody, but hey, he didn't dominate Paul Craig, so Johnny Walker will be the second person to ever beat him by knockout, maybe in the third or early fourth round. Those were all my predictions in under 5 minutes.